Well, I'm glad you're here because this is a follow-up and update to the original 23andMe video that I posted back in November of 2023. It's in that video that I go into much greater detail on my ancestral results, as well as what I had known before submitting a sample in regards to my family history and background. So if you haven't done so already, I highly suggest that you watch that video first, and I'll post it in the description box below. 23andMe provides periodic updates to your ancestry results, as well as some other features within the app and different reports that may have not been accessible before the update. I was notified in the spring of this year, 2024, that there was some updates to my profile and my account. First and foremost, I think it's important to give you an overall synopsis of my ancestry. I am 45.8% European, 26.8% Western Asian and North African, 24.3% Indigenous American, 1.6% Sub-Saharan African, and 1.5% of my DNA is unassigned. Originally, there was only one genetic group under this category, and that was Mexican Volcanic Cordillera West. Just a little disclaimer here, I am not in any way fluent in Spanish, so if I am butchering these pronunciations, do not come for me, okay? I'm doing the best that I can. This genetic group is connected through people from Jalisco, Nayarit, and Michoacan. The powerful Mesoamerican Purépecha Empire in this part of western Mexico was never conquered by the neighboring Aztec Empire. Now it indicates a very close match to the Purépecha people of Michoacan, Mexico. I'm not going to read the entire description, but what I noticed to be very significant is that it states that due to its isolation in the high volcanic region of western Mexico, the Purépecha Empire had many cultural traits distinct from those of other Mesoamerican groups. It was among the first Mesoamerican civilizations to use metals for tools and weapons. While today the Purépecha primarily inhabit western Mexico, there is a community in Nicaragua believed to be descended from Purépecha migrants who settled in the region centuries ago. You're probably wondering, what is a haplogroup? A haplogroup is defined as a set of mtDNA sequence variations that have evolved over time, reflecting the geographic origins of populations along maternal lineages. Each haplogroup has specific SNP variants that can impact energy production and biochemical properties, potentially influencing the development of common diseases. The last genetic group that was added during the update and indicates a close match is the Otomi. Some people believe that the Otomi were the first inhabitants of the Valley of Mexico who were expelled from the valley in the 15th century by the Tepanecs, a sister culture of the Mexica Aztecs. The Otomi had a complex relationship with the Aztecs and would later fight against the empire during the Spanish conquest of Mexico. It then indicates that the Otomi spoke their own language, which was classified as an Oto-Manguean language. Growing up, my father always told my siblings and I that he came from the state of Jalisco in Mexico, but, and this is all speculative, it seems as if there is a higher match with Michoacan rather than Jalisco after this update. And that makes complete sense because Jalisco and Michoacan are right next to each other. Something else that the update offers is the opportunity to view your historical matches. I appear to have 2 of them. However, I'm not able to view who they are specifically because I would have to pay extra. That is the premium feature that 23andMe offers. At this point in time, I don't have the desire to upgrade, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But I do find it to be interesting, and I am obviously very curious to know who it could be. So I'm leaving it up to mystery, and if I ever do find out, I'll let you know. Another feature that most ancestral companies offer is the opportunity to connect with distant relatives. Currently, I have 1,500 distant relatives in my database. I can see the percentage of DNA that I share with each individual. Some of them have pictures. I can see what type of relation it is. Are they a cousin? Are they an aunt? Are they an uncle? Etc., etc. If I would like, I can message them individually to connect further. I can compare their ancestry results with mine. And I am constantly receiving notifications that I have X amount of new relatives to view. This is not an update, but it is something that I failed to address in my first video, and that is the ancestry timeline. The ancestry timeline tells you how many generations ago was your most recent ancestor for each population. Here you can see mine. It starts 6 to 8 or more generations ago with the Senegambian and Guinean population. It then works its way up: Greek and Balkan, Levantine, Angolan and Congolese, Spanish and Portuguese, Indigenous American, Iranian, Caucasian and Mesopotamian, and Eastern European. For whatever reason, it has never allowed me to fully view the Senegambian and Guinean category. I will click it and it will appear for a second and then it goes away. But I have no problem whatsoever reading the descriptions for the ones above it. So let me start with the Greek and Balkan. Here it states that I most likely had a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh great, and in parentheses, or greater grandparent who was 100% Greek and Balkan, likely born between 1720 and 1840. I love that it gets very specific on the time frame that this genetic group was likely born, and I think it really sets the overall idea of when these different groups came in to your genetic pathway, if you want to call it that. Then of course we have the Levantine category. It states there's a third, fourth, fifth, or sixth great-grandparent who was 100% Levantine, born between 1750 and 1840. Angolan and Congolese is also 5 to 8 generations ago. Again, it's a third, fourth, fifth, or sixth great-grandparent who was 100% Angolan and Congolese, born between 1750 and 1840. For the Spanish and Portuguese category, they were likely born between 1780 and 1870. With the Indigenous American category, there was a great second or third great-grandparent who was likely born between 1840 and 1900. With the Iranian, Caucasian, and Mesopotamian category, it states there was a grandparent, great-grandparent, or second great-grandparent born between 1870 and 1930. Do you see what I mean? 100% Eastern European from a parent, grandparent, or great-grandparent born between 1900 and 1960. All of that checks out. The Neanderthal category gives you a glimpse into the percentage of Neanderthal ancestry that you might have. It also informs you that you have X amount percentage more of Neanderthal DNA than other customers. In my case, it shows that I have 68% more DNA than other 23andMe customers. As for the percentage specifically that I have of Neanderthal DNA, it's less than roughly 2%. Out of the 7,462 variants they tested, they found 251 variants in my DNA that trace back to the Neanderthals. It highlights associations between your Neanderthal variants and your traits, but it does not explore how other factors may be involved, such as your many other DNA variants, your environment, or your lifestyle. At a glimpse, it says that I have one variant associated with experiencing more itchy mosquito bites, 2 variants associated with being less likely to have a fear of heights, 1 variant associated with being a better sprinter than distance runner, and 1 variant associated with being more likely to prefer dark chocolate over milk chocolate. Now, how much of this is accurate? Well, for the mosquito bites, I definitely feel, and I've always felt, that I've been a magnet for them. They love to attack my legs and my ankles. If I'm outside, especially in an area where mosquitoes are more likely present, I always leave with at least 5 to 10 bites. I might even be under exaggerating, because there have been occurrences where it's been just a full-blown attack of bites on my legs. The other people that I'm with might have walked out with 1 or 2 or none at all. So yes, I agree with that. Being less likely to have a fear of heights, it's somewhere in the middle. I do love going on roller coasters. I love the adrenaline and the thrill. I love hiking. I love trekking upwards on an incline. However, when it comes to roller coasters and when it comes to hiking, or even if I'm up in a tall skyscraper and I'm looking out the window down below, I will start to feel very uneasy. I will start sweating. My heart rate will increase. I will feel nauseous or panicky. So as long as I'm not looking down, I'm good. Am I a better sprinter than distance runner? Absolutely. I have asthma and I've always struggled to breathe properly when doing high energy activities. I can do it, but I have to push myself much harder than the average person. I do find that sprinting is much more comfortable. Even when I'm on the treadmill at the gym, I don't like to overexert myself. I do have to wonder if the scientists at 23andMe found a variant that indicates asthma or breathing issues, and that was how they were able to specifically match that variant to being a better sprinter than distance runner. Last but not least, do I prefer dark chocolate over milk chocolate? Listen up. Dark chocolate is more appealing because it is healthier for you, and as someone who prioritizes their health, I'm all for it. I love sweets. I love savory, sugary things, but we all know that the things that we enjoy the most sometimes aren't always the best for us physically, right? So again, I can't help but think to myself, does 23andMe know that I would tend to lean more towards the healthier choice? If I had it my way, I would choose milk chocolate over dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is an acquired taste. It can be very bitter. Milk chocolate is much more flavorful. We all know that. I mentioned earlier that if you want to view your historical matches, you have to upgrade to premium. One of the features that comes with premium is a breakdown of your health report and what diseases or illnesses you are more susceptible to because of your genetics. I have hypochondria and I am very much anxious about my health in general. So I personally do not want to know if I am more prone to develop a serious illness or disease down the line. Listen, it's different for everyone. Some people find it to be really, really important to know if that could potentially happen to them in the future. I am not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Everyone has the right to their own decision making and their approach to something like that. But again, because I am someone who hyperfixates on my body and because I can tell if something is wrong with my body, I don't want to know that. Ignorance is bliss in this case. Despite me not upgrading, I still can see a glimpse of possible health-related reports. For example, it shows that there is type 2 diabetes, but it is locked. Muscle composition is locked. My genetic weight is locked. Lactose intolerance is locked, and deep sleep is locked. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. DNA result breakdowns are not the focus of my channel. I am very much all over the place, so I just want to let that be known. But you can definitely follow along and listen in to other topics that I discuss or things that I do. I hope this video was informative, entertaining, interesting. I do find that when discussing ancestry, geography, genealogy, sometimes people can get very aggressive and defensive, and they want to be high and mighty and try and prove others right or wrong. But I think we need to stop putting so much pressure on being this all-knowing person when it comes to this topic. Leave that to the professionals, and at the end of the day, it's just about having the discussion and putting it out there. It's all for interpretation purposes only. Okay? So, that's all I've got.